Hello everyone, welcome on DocuTalks, and today our guest is Minna, and I'm not sure how to pronounce your surname, and I didn't ask before, so Minna, hi!
Hi! No, I totally get that. It's really hard to say it in English anyway. It only makes sense in Swedish.
And how is it?
In Swedish, I would say Ridderstolpe.
Oh, it sounds so beautiful. I have no idea what it means, but it sounds great.
Thank you.
Today we can talk about your project of 365, and can you introduce a little bit yourself and the project?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Minna. I live in Stockholm, Sweden, and I'm 40 years old, and I live here with my husband, or we're not married, but I don't know how you say it in English. We're not married, and our two kids. And they're 6 and almost 10.
And Project 365, it's about your family or it's about your work?
I did this project last year, or I ended this summer, and it was about my daughter, actually. It was her year as a 5-year-old. I started on her birthday, and I stopped on her birthday. So it was her year as a 5-year-old.
Wow. And now there is a second year going on?
Yeah, actually, when I finished the year on her 6th birthday, it just took a few days, and I was like, oh, I want to do something more. So now I do another project, 365, but my goal is to get both my kids in the same frame every day. And that's so much harder, but I'm trying.
Well, that's a great challenge, because probably there are a lot of situations when they are not together during the day. And how did you all start it? Why did you decide to start this project about your one daughter? And wasn't the second child a little bit, I don't know, not fair?
Well, I think he expressed that, but he is in a lot of photos as well, because I decided that it didn't have to be a photo of just her. I mean, her family and friends. It was like about her life. So I wanted her to be in every photo, but not only her. So he is in a lot of photos. So I started it. I heard about 365 projects, but all the ones that I saw was just like they were so random. It was like a flower or a car or a kid, and it didn't make sense to me. So I never planned to do a 365. But every time she has her birthday, we take a photo of her out in the street. So when I was doing that on her 5th birthday, I was thinking like, well, I'm gonna do this next year as well. And then it hit me like, maybe I can take a photo of her every day until she turns 6. So that's how it started. It was not something I planned or anything. I just came up with a thought there. So then I decided that I really wanted to do that, her year as a 5-year-old.
And what were the biggest challenges during that year?
In the beginning, it was actually to remember to take a photo. Or not during the first weeks, because then I was really into it. But then when like the first romance for the project started to like be a little bit less intensive, it was easy to forget. But I think I solved it kind of good, because I did forget sometimes. But then I just like went into her room at night and shot a picture of her sleeping or something like that. So I managed to get those photos. But the challenge is to remember to take the photo, actually. Yeah.
Did you use any notification or something like that to remember?
No, I didn't. No.
And Smila, how did she get that? Was she okay with you taking her photos every day?
No, not every day. She was not okay with it. Most of the time, absolutely. She was totally fine. And like in the evening, she was like, oh my God, we cannot forget to take the photo. But I also wanted to have like photos that not just post photos. I wanted to have like all her life. So sometimes when she was angry, I took a photo, and then she didn't really appreciate that, but I did it anyway. So, and sometimes when she was really upset with me for some 5-year-old reason, she was like, "You're not gonna take my photo today," you know. But I mean, they're angry for a while and then forget about it. So, but she really liked it. She really did.
And why it was so important for you to take photos of her also when she is not happy, when she's a little bit upset and maybe angry?
Well, I think it's important to show every aspect of life. That, I mean, she's 5-year-old, so she's angry, and she's angry over something that a grown-up cannot even imagine. Like, you know, I took out the wrong socks, and she's like panicking over it. So I really want to remember those kind of things. So that's why I wanted to show all the aspects of life.
That's great. And it didn't interrupt the process of being mother when you were taking photos? Did it hurt to think about photography at the same time as being mother?
I'm kind of used to shooting my kids, but I think it's really important that you have to step out from being a parent for those few minutes or seconds when you take the photo. You just have to step out, and then you just step in for a while. So for me, it's not a problem, but I hear that there are both moms and dads that think that is a little bit difficult, but I think it's, no, I don't think it's too difficult, actually.
Okay. And what do you do with the photos? What did you do when the 6th birthday and you have 365 photos? What now?
From the beginning, I had this goal that I wanted to make a book, and I have it here. I've shown it on social media before, and it's this really thick book. Ooh. And I decided I had it in mind all year that I wanted to do this book. And it's one photo, you see?
Per page.
Yeah, one photo per page.
Oh my God.
And it's also like, it says the day, day 181, and it's Thursday, 5th of January. Then there's a little note here about the situation. I don't remember every situation. That's hard, but some of them, of course, I remember. So this is just like here where I'm sitting right now, eating Christmas dinner. Okay. This is in the library. Where to go. So this was what I had in mind all the time, that I wanted this book. So I had a really clear goal when I was shooting all the time.
During the day, when you think about the photo you want to take, do you take a couple of them during the day when the situation is changing, or you think only about one photo and then it's done for the day and you continue on the next day?
When I was shooting only her, I took kind of a lot of photos every day. Now when I want both my kids in the same frame, I don't take as many, because if me and my son are going to the mall, I don't bring the camera, because I know that I really want a photo with 2 of them in it, so I just leave it at home. But when I was shooting with only my girl, I brought the camera everywhere. So, and like I said, it's harder now when I'm supposed to shoot both my kids, and they get more like, I forget about it, and at night I'm like, oh my God, we forgot to take a photo, come here. And he's getting upset. He's like, why do I always have to come? And then they like sit next to each other and they start to fight immediately. They fight all the time, my kids. So even though they're like sort of arranged, things happening anyway in the photo, they never sit next to each other. It's like, you know, they're poking and they're hitting each other. So but again, I don't know if I answered your question.
yes, you answered, because it sounds like you need to have a goal to know when to shoot and how much to shoot. Because when you were taking photos of your daughter, it was one thing, but now you know, when you don't have the right situation, you don't need to take a photo just to take a photo.
No.
So it makes sense. You need to think ahead what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
And it was really important also during the year with only her, because I didn't want to only take photos at home. I wanted photos with her and her grandmother or grandfather, or she was in kindergarten, so I wanted a photo from there, and she had football practice, so I wanted photos from there. So I really planned in one way what I wanted. I wanted her life, and there's a lot of things going into a 5-year-old's life, actually, friends and family and activities.
Do you feel, did anything change for yourself personally and for your family during these 365 days when you were taking photos? Did anything change?
That's hard. No, I don't think so. I think my kids are really used to that I'm shooting a lot. So, but one thing that I was really thinking about was, I am shooting for myself, but in this project, I feel like I was really shooting a lot for her as well. Because I want her to have this book when she's older. That's my main goal. And I want her to remember her life. Not only the good things, all the bad things. And I was shooting a lot of environmental in our house, because maybe we move someday, or maybe we, you never know what happens. Mm-hmm. So I think I don't know if I learned anything personal about it, but one thing, I think there was a shift somewhere in the middle, where in the beginning I was more shooting for myself, and then it shifted more to shoot for her in the future. Mm-hmm. I think, yeah.
And what would be your advice for someone who is thinking to starting about this 365 project, for example, on the 1st of January, yes. And because it's the best day to start anything, but do you have any advices for them how to start?
Yeah, I think it's really, for me, it was really important to have a theme. I think it made it so much easier for me. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't get so random. So that's one of my biggest advice. And then I have some like a practical advice, that if you should, in the night, you should really like prepare your camera so it's ready for the morning. You should have a memory card in and a battery, so you can shoot in the morning, because if you shoot in the morning, you have that day safe. And then in the afternoon, when the kids get back from school or whatever, you can shoot more, but then you have your photo. And then I think you have to realize that you will miss some days. During the second 365 now, I missed 2 days. One day, I don't even know what happened. I just didn't have any photos from the day. And the other one, by accident, it's like the first time ever, I deleted the photos. I don't know. I'm so happy it wasn't a client. But I know what photos I took, and I searched my computer, and like, no, they're not there. And it's 2 days, and really it doesn't matter, because this is what matters in the end, a book. It doesn't matter if 2 days are missing, or 3 days, or whatever. You have to see like the whole picture of it. And it doesn't, but you have to be prepared that you will miss, but don't give up. And nobody's going to judge you, whatever, and like, you missed one day. It doesn't matter. Just keep on shooting.
Did you also share your photos on the Instagram or Facebook, social media every day when you took photo, or it was like once in a time?
No, I decided early on that I didn't want to show them, because I just felt that it would limit me, because she was 5 years old, and a 5-year-old doesn't always have their clothes on when they're home. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to take photos of that and then put on social media of her naked, but still I wanted to show her real life. So there are photos in the book with her naked, because she's 5 years old. So, yeah. And if I had told myself that I had to show every photo to the world, I would limit myself. So I decided not to. But on Instagram, I put every now and then a photo that I liked. And I wrote about the 365 project on social media, but I didn't show every photo. But I know that some people really like, that's the thing that keeps them going. But for me, it wasn't like
that. Do you think it's important for a photographer, a professional photographer, also to do this kind of project? And does it have to be about their family, or it can be any kind of 365 project?
Yeah, I think it's really important, because then you shoot for yourself and you don't shoot for anybody else. So I think it's really important to have that kind of freedom in one project a year. And of course you don't have to do it with your family. For me, it made most sense.
I really love the tips you are giving. They are so, just go into the point. And I'm just waiting forward for my 365. And I have so many just ideas now when I'm talking to you. It's just so great.
And then one other thing is, like, during the year, I wasn't home every day.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband, he's not a photographer, and he only has his mobile phone. But he had to take a photo for me. And it doesn't matter, because I wanted a year, like I said. So it doesn't matter if some of the photos, they're not good, but they are there.
Wow.
And some of the photos my son took, like a selfie with her or something like that, just to like mix it up a little bit. So if you're not seeing, let's say you shoot your family, if you don't see them every day, you can ask someone else to take a photo or a selfie or whatever.
It's all about the purpose. Why do you do it?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was super. I know it was short but full of information.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you. And have a nice day. Have a great year.
Oh, you too. Nice to meet you.
Maybe we'll see on a conference or somewhere next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.